So in this video, what we're going to look at is checking the integrity of a design that we've elevated. So we've elevated these roads, and what we want to do is check for ponding on the design. If there's ponding in the design, then we can be sure when we set it out and construct it, then there'll be an issue with ponding. So the first thing I'm going to do is just select the data that I want to use to create a model. So we're selecting the road center line and the channel levels, and we can just close that. And I'm just going to go to surfaces, and I'm going to choose to create a surface, and I'll just call this temp surface and hit apply. I'm not going to worry too much about, we're not going to cover how we take out the middle of the surface here and so on. This is just a temporary surface for allowing me to check for ponding. I'm going to select here and put a maximum edge length in the surface of 20 meters just to cut out the worst of those. So once we've created that surface, we can go into the 3D view and we can see that we've got this surface. And I'm just going to turn off all the layers, and we're just going to look at the actual surface itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the surface on, and I'm just going to go to surface properties. You can right click to choose properties if it's not available here, but most of the time it will be available here. And we can basically just choose the plan view, and I'm just going to show slope arrows. And what allows it me to look at, and we can turn the gullies on if we've got the gullies on here, and it just allows me to see where the water is going to flow off the road, and we can check that it's actually going to flow towards the gullies. If you've got denser surfaces here, then you won't see the slope arrows, and what we can do is it's just in here, we go to computations, and we go to surface, and we can set the slope arrow length. So if we make it slightly smaller, 0.3, then we'll see the slope arrow smaller, and they will fit in these smaller triangles. So we can check the flow from the water off the road. What we can also do is look for flat spots. So we can just select the surface, and we can say shade by, we can go to shade by slope range in here, and we're going to say yes. And if we're concerned with anything that's, say, less than 1%, then it will just show me triangles in the surface that are less than 1%. And what we can do is we can see them here. There's one here, there's one here. This is not a concern because it's outside the model. And we can see there's a few here that are less than 1% flow. And we can highlight these. These are actually highlighted in the 3D view. So these are areas that we potentially have to look at and maybe tweak something a little bit to avoid ponding on the actual road surface itself. So that's a very quick way to verify a road design within Trimble Business Centre.